my last video, I did a level layout. I laid out more things in the level. The video was getting a little bit too long, so I didn't get to do all the things that I wanted to. So for this video, I'm going to add some functionality. So the first thing that I want to work on is this conduit. So when I play, I can crouch, but the problem is when I'm just say crouching in the conduit and I let go of the crouch button, the player shouldn't be able to uncrouch because there's not enough headroom. But if I, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create another box collider. So right now there's there's one box collider. I'll create another one. First I need to see oh, it's really big. So I go down here. So I'm going to copy the values. The first to the second. So I've got two box colliders that are overlapping each other. So the second one that I just created, I want it to be smaller, so I'm going to scale it down. And it doesn't have to be tall, it doesn't have to be I can make it a little bit shorter. And I'm just going to bring it down here. So the bottom part is the same, but the second one only comes up to here. But I'm going to uncheck that for now. And I'm going to take my player and put him back up here. I should also bring this down so, okay. Another thing, actually I'm going to leave that high. Another thing with these conduits, I'm going to erase all these ones that I created. And I'm just going to work on this one real quick. I need to add Box Collider 2D. I'll bring it down here for a second so I can see what I'm doing. It's going to be, I want to make it a trigger. If I don't make it a trigger, that means he can't walk through it. I want him to be able to walk through it. So again, make it nice and flush. And I'm going to create a tag. This one's going to be called conduit. And I'm going to tag it as conduit. Okay. So basically, what I'm going to do, the method that I'm going to try and use is in the player movement script. I want to create a couple things. So first, I'm going to create a boolean called can uncrouch, and that's going to be set to true. I also need to create a public game object called, oops, actually I forgot to duplicate these. Okay. Public game object. Oh, actually, okay, so what I'm going to try and do, instead of game object, I'm going to do box collider 2D. Collider 1. So if I go back into player, the script, no, that's not going to work. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to do public component box collider 1, public game object box collider 2, and I'm going to so in the player I need to create an empty, I want to call it crouch collider, and I'm going to take this second box collider that I created. Now I want to add it to this. Edit. I'm just going to copy all these values. Okay, so this crouch collider, I'm going to disable it. And I'm going to remove okay. Okay, so the first one is going to be Box Collider 2D. And only for the first one, I need to call it up in the start function. Call Box Collider 1 equals get component Box Collider. Oops, Box Collider 2D. Okay. So first, what I want to do is for the crouching. Okay, for crouching, if I press the crouching button, then it crouches. But if the button is up, the middle mouse button is up, then I should uncrouch. But I need to add this boolean that says can uncrouch. And can uncrouch equals true. Whoops. So whenever he's in the conduit, then that boolean needs to be set to false. So public void on trigger enter 2D if other dot game object dot tag equals conduit can uncrouch equals false. I'm going to copy and paste this. On trigger exit 2D. If it exits, then this is set to true. And then okay, so box collider 1, box collider 2. Okay. So if it enters, if trigger enters, enter 2D, collides with an object with the tag conduit, then can uncrouch is false, and box collider 1, which is a component, dot enabled equals false, and box collider 2 we use set active because this is a component. This is not, oh sorry, this is a game object, not a component. This would be true. I want to copy and paste these into here, except I'm going to reverse these booleans. Or not booleans, true or false. Okay, so if I compile that, and I'm going to go to player. So the only thing that I need to dump in is this crouch collider. So if I play, so I can't go past this, but as soon as I crouch, okay, there's something wrong here. Let me see. I'm going to get rid of maybe so if I crouch, if I hold it down, then it crouches. If I let go, then it uncrouches. And walk over here. Something's blocking me. What I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and take these and put them up in this function here where I'm crouching. When I press the crouch button, so when crouching is pressed, and when So when crouching is pressed, the player is crouching. Collider 1 is false and the smaller collider is true. And then, whoops, I got the wrong. It's these two that I want. There we go. So these are enabled and disabled with the pressing and unpressing of the crouch button. But this unpressing only activates only if can uncrouch is true, and the can uncrouch is only true if it is not colliding with the conduit. So these pieces of script I can get rid of. So I'm only setting, oh, wrong one. Get rid of these. So the only thing that the collider is doing, the conduit collider, is it's setting this Boolean false or true. So I'm going to compile that. And so if I walk over, I can't walk through it, but if I crouch, the crouch button's not working. Try that. So the crouch is working fine. Can't walk through. But as soon as I crouch, I let go of the button and he doesn't uncrouch. But as soon as he comes out, I have to press the uncrouch button again. But I don't know what's blocking me. Okay, I'm assuming it's, maybe this is the problem. Okay, I think I know what the problem is. I forgot about these two colliders. So this is a ledge check. Ledge check. Okay, so public capsule collider 2D. Collider. And I also have public game object ledge detector. So capsule collider enabled equals false. Over here, capsule collider enabled true. Ledge detector dot set active false. And this is set to true. Oops. So with the player selected, I just need to drag and drop the ledge detector. So if I play now, okay, works fine. Still doesn't work. What else am I? Got the ledge check. Okay, oops. Put him back up here. Whoops. So if something's not getting turned off, it has to be one of these colliders here. If I put them down here, you can see there's several things going on. But something's not being turned off. So if something's definitely colliding with this wall. So if I disable this, if I play now, so if I press the crouch button, then he crouches. If I let go, then he uncrouches. If I crouch and then I enter the conduit and I let go, then he doesn't uncrouch. So he's in crouching mode as long as I'm colliding with those box colliders and the conduit. But as soon as I exit and I press the middle mouse button again, he uncrouches. So I can crouch and uncrouch as usual. But if I crouch and I enter and I let go of the crouch button, then he stays crouched. So that works. So he must be colliding with this. So I'm not exactly sure what it is, but I think that's good for now. I'm going to try one more thing. I'll do public box collider 2D. I'll call it ledge collider. Ledge. So ledge collider equals ledge detector dot get component box collider. Box collider 2D. So ledge collider, which is a new thing I created. And then let's set back to true when he's not crouching. Okay, I'm going to try this, and if it doesn't work, then okay. Nope, it's not working. Okay, it's got to be something else. I'm just going to leave that for now. Quite a few more things that I want to do. So the first thing is with the player selected, we need to create some animations for when he's entering the door, exiting the door, and when he's interacting with this console or this little panel right here by the door. So first, I'm going to create a new clip. And in the right folder, I'm going to save the animation as enter door. And so door, enter. And I'm going to make this I want this to be 1 second or 3 seconds long. Enter door. There we go, 3 seconds long. Okay, I'm going to create another one. Exit door. Got the wrong keys. Copy, paste. Okay. And I need to create one more called interacting. And that would be this one right here. Okay, so I can move this back down here. The animator. And it's created for me. Interacting. Enter door. Exit door. So I need to create 3 triggers. First one is enter door, exit door, interact. So the first one is going to come from movement. So it's on the way there. Has exit time is turned off. And the trigger needs to be enter door, and then it goes back automatically. Make a transition to exit door. Exit door, and this transitions back automatically. I'm also going to create one from here to here, because when he enters a door, this enter door animation plays for 3 seconds, and then it switches to this one. So maybe there's a possibility that it might not bounce back in time to go to the exit animation. So I'm going to do another one that goes straight to this. So this exit door can be reached from here through here, exit door, or it could be here. So it can go straight from here to here, or it could bounce back to movement and then go that way. But this is like a safety measure, I guess, so that there's no like weird gap in between. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what could happen, but I need to make one more for interacting and make a transition back. So on the transition back, I can just leave it, but on the way there, turn off exit time. And the trigger is interact. Okay, so that's good. So I need to go put the player back here. Need to create an empty object, and I'm going to call it door enter trigger, and it's going to have a box collider 2D. It's going to be a trigger, and the size of the height of it is going to be about the same height as the player. So I want it to be roughly here. That's good enough. And so I'll leave it right there. And I'm going to go to first. I'm going to start to 0. And I need to create a prefab of this so that I can use it again. And in the scripts folder, I want to double click this to open it. in the scripts, create script, enter door trigger. Open that up. So I'm going to drag and drop the script so I don't forget. Then I will go back into scenes, and I'm going to take this trigger and put it back where I want it. Go back to the prefabs. I can just place another one right here from the prefabs. This door can be, oops, this one, because from here it's already opened. So in the enter door trigger, using player movement script, public game object player, player movement, player movement script, and public transform other location. Okay. The start function, player movement script equals player dot get component player movement. Oops, player movement. Okay, now I have to create a public void on trigger enter 2D. We'll call this other. If other dot game object dot get component or oops, I completely messed that up. This should be tag equals player weather dot game dot okay. The player movement, I need to create a public void enter door, and I'm going to compile that. So basically, whenever he enters, whenever he whenever he enters his collider in front of the door, he simultaneously triggers this enter door, which is in the player movement that I just created right here. So he's going to trigger whatever's like in those brackets. But after 3 seconds, because there's a coroutine, after 3 seconds it places him in this other location, which is right here. So I'm going to compile that real quick. So for both these triggers, this one as well as this one, I'm going to select both and dump the player into both. But in this second field, I'm going to use the opposite triggers. So for this one, I'm going to dump this in here. The reason is, if the player is standing in front of here and enters, he goes to this location, and it's using this transform to relocate the player. But there's one thing that I'm missing. Just 1 second. Okay, I'm going to make a boolean called can enter door, and over here can enter door equals true. By default equals false. And down here, after 3 seconds, can after another 3 seconds, can enter door equals false. And in the update function, if input dot get key code W, which is the up button. If the up button is pressed, and can enter door equals true, then that's when this happens. Oh wait, no. This was actually correct. It's these two that I need to trigger. So the only thing that the collision is doing, no, this has to go back. When he collides with the collider in front of the door, he's setting the can enter door true. I'm going to try this. So whenever he collides with the door collider, the only thing that's happening is this boolean is set true. I'm going to copy and paste this. I'm going to turn this into an exit. So on enter exit, can enter door becomes false. But if he presses the W key while the can enter door is true, then he triggers the coroutine as well as the player enter door. So over here, public animator dot set trigger enter door. So immediately he plays the enter door animation. Start coroutine exit door. door. And in here, yield, turn, new, wait 4 seconds, and I'll do 3. After 3 seconds of playing the enter door animation, can't forget this. Okay, after 3 seconds of playing the enter door animation, he plays the set or exit door animation, which happens on the other side of after he enters the door. Okay. What's going on here? Animator. Oh, okay. So if I play and I press the W, 1, 2, 3, and he enters the door, 1, 2, 3, and he's good to go. So if I press it again, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, it sort of works. Try once more. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. That's fine for now. For now, I need to work on this interface. So for this interface here, I am going to create an empty. Call interface 2. Underneath it, I'm going to have 2D object, sprite, square, interface, and create another sprite. interface destroyed. So I've got one on top of the other, so if I switch this off, I can see the other one. But by default, this one's going to be turned off. Put that where this other one is. This first interface I can delete. This one has to be set to 1.5. 0, 0. Okay. Okay, for the first door, I need to create 3 animations. Create. Door open. Door closed. And door opening. I'll grab all these. And I want it to be okay, that's good. 1 second. Put this back down here. Go into my animator. Now I need to go into prefabs. The door doesn't have an animator, so I need to add an animator. The animator is going to be a door. So I can get rid of these two. So this blend tree, two motion fields. So by default, it's door closed, door open, and back to the blend tree. Door opening. Is open a boolean. It only takes a float. So value 0 is closed, and value 1 is open. And I need to create one more bool, or sorry, trigger, opening, or open door. What am I doing? Okay, so make transition. Okay, so when the trigger is set, it goes to door opening and automatically, after it plays the animation, automatically goes back. Okay. Need to go back. Scenes. This is going to be called Interface Collider. And this one's going to have Box Collider 2D. It's going to be a trigger. And it's going to be right in front of the interface. Make it relatively thin so that he actually has to be it increases the likelihood that he's directly in front of the interface. I need to create a tag called the door. actually going to do is I'm going to replace this because this door right here, it's from the prefab, and I don't need this with oh, wait a minute, door, yeah, this is the prefab, so I don't need a prefab there because this one's always open. This is not going to animate at all. It's just there for visuals. So the only functional door is this one, so this is the only one that needs to be a prefab. This door right here. So interface collider. Okay, so scripts. Create a script for the door. And I'm going to dump that script onto the prefab. So if I go back and select the door, then the door script is right there. Okay. So the door script, I'm going to create a namespace. Called script door. We're going to bracket the whole thing. And I'm also going to create an interface script. Interface. Here, first I should probably, just so I don't forget, I actually made a mistake. This collider I can delete, and I should add the box collider to the interface box collider. So that's the one with the two sprites. There's the interface and the interface destroyed, and the parent is going to have the box collider. It's going to be a trigger, and once again I'm going to resize. Oops, I need a box collider 2D. It's a trigger. Make it a little bit thin, a little bit tall. I'll place it right in the middle. Make it a little bit thinner. Okay. And I'm going to drag and drop the interface script so I don't forget. Back into the interface script. So in the interface script, I'm going to be using a script door public Whoops. Public game object door script door script. This is just called door. Door script equals door dot public void on trigger enter 2D if other game object dot tag equals player, and then create a bool called can interact equals false, then can interact equals true, copy and paste that and turn this into an exit, and this is set to false. I'm going to go back to enter trigger. So in the update function can, if the W button is pressed, or the up button, and the can interact is true, then other dot game object get component no door dot get component door dot open door. So that means in the door I need to create public void open door. So I'm going to trigger that. Start coroutine destroy interface. drawing interface. Yield return new, wait for seconds, 1 second. And interface destroyed is true, or set active true. The door animator dot set trigger open door. wait for half a second, and animator dot set trigger, nope, set bool. Wait a minute. Set float is open. Set the value to 1. Okay. So I'm going to go back here. What's wrong? Where's the error? Oh, I'm missing a bracket. Okay. Go back here. In the interface, I need to dump in the door, interface destroyed, and I think that's it. So if I try, oh, if I stand here and press up, oh, I think I know what's wrong. Another thing that I need to do is door enter trigger. This one is going to be disabled. So that way, I'm not able to enter the door yet because this enter trigger is disabled and it has the script that enables me to move to the other location. Another reason why this isn't working is because I need another boolean. We'll make one more called can, a boolean called can destroy. And we'll set it to true. Can destroy is equal to true, but as soon as this W key is pressed and these two other things are true, then the can destroy is immediately set to false, which makes one of the conditions, this condition right here, it's immediately set to false, so that way this door, this thing that's triggering the open door and the door script here, it doesn't get constantly triggered. If this doesn't exist, this little can destroy equals false, then because it's in the update function, it's going to constantly trigger this. So both of these should only be triggered once, and I think that's why the door is like acting funny. So I'm going to try once more. So door enter trigger is off. The interface, I dragged and dropped that door enter trigger here, so if I play now, when I walk up to the door and I press W, it should do nothing. But if I go here and press up, it's destroyed. I press up. Okay, that's fine. I know what I did wrong. The Z needs to be 1.5 for that door. I think this is it. I forgot to set, because it was by default blend. I need to change it to is open. So if I press up the door, nothing happens. If I do this first, the door opens. The interface is damaged. Then I press up. Then I go in. And then I can exit. Okay, that's fine. The only thing is, the animation's not playing of the character. Using player movement script. Let's copy all this. player movement screen, I'm going to create a public void called interact with interface. Interact with interface. And there, I'm going to animator.set trigger. Called interact. So this is triggered when okay, so whenever he's standing in front of the interface and he presses the W and all this is true, then that triggers the animation. Okay, so if I play, okay, so if I go up to the door, press up, nothing happens. If I go up here, still doesn't play the animation. What's going on? Okay, player animation. Whoops. Sometimes this has to be moved up. Before it triggers the coroutine. Let's see if that works. Okay, again, move up, go up to the door, press up, nothing happens. Go here. Oh, it's not working all of a sudden. What happened? Okay. This is blocking it for some reason. I don't know why. So we'll try moving it down. Okay, this is preventing it from working for some reason. Okay, it works now. Yeah, not sure what's going on here. That code, this little piece of code right here, that's supposed to trigger this animation, is blocking something. I'm not exactly sure what, but it's preventing the player from entering the door. It's not even playing the interaction animation. But I'm just gonna leave it at that for now. I think it's good enough. Yep. Hope you enjoyed that, and please stay tuned for more. Okay, thanks.